Fighting for peace. The name of Rodney Watson alone was enough to make us uncomfortable. It belonged to a lean, brown-eyed, raven-haired youth who could easily defeat any other 13-year-old boy who stood in his way. In the unlikely event that you could even match Rodney Watson as a fighter, you would certainly never overcome his older brother Steve, who was stronger but somewhat less demonstrative. Like most of our school, I had never seen Rodney Watson fight, but for some reason this never came into question with regard to his fearsome reputation. He had a scowl that could disable any smile, and a mood that could change as if by the flick of a switch. Those that were most scared of him were those closest to him. I saw him hit one of his cronies once. The boy didn't seem hurt, but his fear betrayed itself in an almost purple blush. Any new boys to our school soon had their mettle tested before they had even learned anyone else's name. Rodney Watson would confront them eye to eye with his infamous scowl and ask them why they were staring at him. Curiously, the only person who Watson never challenged was the captain of the school football team, Ray Parkin, for whom Watson played centre-forward. Parkin did not quite possess the physical power of the leaner, quicker Watson, but he was motivated beyond all else with the will to compete and win at soccer, and if he ever criticised Watson for letting the team down, he met only with the infamous scowl and perhaps a passing threat. Nothing and no one scared Parkin when it came to football. The glory of outpowering opponents and goal-scoring mattered to Watson, but Parkin, who played at centre-half, was more concerned with motivating a winning team. More curious still, Parkin dated the Watson brothers' younger sister, Madeline, a raven-haired beauty, jealously protected by her elder siblings. Rodney was once heard to say, "If you ever hurt my sister, Parkin." And even Ray Parkin could recognise a genuine threat when he heard one. One of the reasons so few of us saw Rodney Watson fight was simply the lack of opponents. His reputation alone was enough to sustain him, and his scowl was its chilling emblem. So Watson simply enjoyed his unchallenged power. He taunted people at will. He could even afford to threaten people, perhaps punch people, without fear of retaliation. His capriciousness could even be amusing, certainly to his circle of followers, unless you were to speak, or even smile, out of turn. But Watson needed nourishment to quench his appetite for aggression. A fighter must needs engage an opponent from time to time, if only to refresh his reputation. So he was occasionally on the lookout for victims. That put fear into most of us, and we were careful to keep on his kinder side, although we knew that the caprice of a bully such as Watson could be terrifyingly unpredictable. Eventually Watson found a target, an overweight boy whose ineffectual bulk relied tenuously upon two thin and shapeless legs for support. First came the insults to the defenceless fellow, and then came the blows and kicks which Watson claimed were deserved by the lack of deference shown to him in the poor adolescent's pale, characterless face. It was almost fun to watch Paul Mayflower's battering, I have to admit. Fun born of the relief that Watson hadn't chosen one of us, and it was gratifying to know that Mayflower was the victim-elect. While this unsought-for punishment continued for almost a year, puberty bestowed its blessing, or its curse, upon we young boys whose 14th birthday loomed. For Watson, it manifested itself in the form of the promising down of a brown moustache, which attracted even more female attention. For Paul Mayflower, it brought psoriatic acne, more puppy fat, and isolation. We could all see the tearful weariness rise in Mayflower's face during each school break time, as Watson inevitably made his approach. Before we entered our third year of high school, most of us had taken a holiday job. The Watson boys had paper rounds as well as Saturday morning shifts at the local launderer's, and Paul Mayflower, whose father worked for the local council, had helped his dad with the council dustbin collections, though it took some effort to lift and upend a dustbin single-handed. But with patience and the discipline of regular physical exercise, along with a few tips from his dad, Mayflower found himself able to haul a loaded dustbin onto his shoulders. He had made several previous clumsy attempts, but at last, one morning, he had given a growl, taken a step forward, and hoisted the dustbin aloft in one sweeping movement of his body, upending it clean into the cart by himself. It earned him the applause and respect of his fellow council workers.